Hey everyone, this is Kaushiki from Simply Amazing Life by Kaushiki. Today I'm starting a series where we'll be doing the basics of baking. In this, I'll deal with all types of basics of baking, the science behind it, different types of cakes, cookies, you name it. And if you do this entire cake series or the baking series, I may say so, then you'll be able to bake a cake like a pro, cookies like the best bakeries around. And the best part is you'll be baking with ingredients available in your own pantry. During this pandemic, the only thing that we have learned is hygiene and health. And baking with ingredients available at your own home is the best thing that you can do. I'll also tell you about all the types of commercial ingredients that are used in most of the bakeries and how harmful they are. If you continue with the series, you will also learn how to not only just bake a cake but also to style, decorate, ice, and make beautiful designs of the cake. It's going to be a long series, I will not lie on this, but it will be one of the best series that you'll find on YouTube. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get started. So let's talk about measuring scales. This is one of the very important tool when you are baking. And if you're a little serious about baking, I would definitely recommend of buying these inexpensive measuring scales. They are battery operated and it is super simple to operate them. So you just press the switch on button and put a bowl on top of this pad that's there, and this measures the bowl. Now we have to make it a 0 to measure any ingredient. So I press the tar button, it becomes 0, and to this whatever I'm adding, I'm able to measure the ingredient, not adding the weight of the bowl. I hope that makes sense. So I'll just show you, it is already 0 on the scale, and now I'm adding flour to this. So I need 200 grams of flour. I am using multigrain flour. You can always go ahead and use whole wheat flour or a all-purpose flour. To this I'll add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Now I always like to sift the baking powder in the flour and give it a thorough whisk. So this helps to incorporate the baking powder to the entire flour mixture, not keeping it in one position, or any lumps can be avoided totally, which gives at times a very bitter taste to the cake. Now in a separate bowl, I'll measure the wet ingredients. Again, I have made the scale to 0 and I am measuring 125 milliliters or half a cup of non-flavorless oil. I'm using light olive oil. You can also use sunflower oil, canola oil, or any refined oil. To this I will add 1 cup or 250 ml of warm milk. The milk should be warm enough, and I'm adding it to the oil directly. And to this I'll add 1 tablespoon of white vinegar or apple cider vinegar. Any one you can use, it's totally your choice. We give this a thorough mix and set it aside. Now the vinegar and milk will react to each other and they'll cuddle. Now in the same dry mixture, I am adding the powdered sugar. I have used absolutely the regular granulated sugar and I have churned this in the mixie grinder and made it into a very fine powder. Again, using a wire whisk, we'll mix all the ingredients together. You can also sift this entire dry mixture. That also helps in proper blending of the ingredients. To the wet ingredients, I am adding 1.5 teaspoon of vanilla essence. If you're not fond of vanilla essence, you can always go ahead and add almond essence or even lemon juice or lemon extract. Now mix all the vanilla essence thoroughly and to the wet ingredients we'll add all the dry ingredient, but we'll do this in 3 batches. So after every batch, when we add the dry ingredient, we need to mix it into the wet ingredient very thoroughly without leaving any lumps. So now this gives a very smooth batter without any lumps, and this is the key step over here, and this should not be skipped by any chance. Never dump the entire flour all together in the wet ingredient. It will leave you lumps and it will not give a chance for the baking or the rising ingredients in the flour to bind with the wet ingredients. We have added the final batch and now we'll give it a final mix, making sure no lumps are left. In a separate bowl, I'll take 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of vinegar. Now if you can see, there is a fizz that comes. This activates the baking soda and we'll add it as soon as possible to the batter. Now we'll whisk the batter and leave the batter aside. Now this helps to create the reaction in the batter between the vinegar and the baking soda and the baking powder. So that is the main ingredient that creates the pockets or the sponginess in the cake. And meanwhile, while the batter is resting, we will grease 2 6-inch pans and line it with a parchment paper and pour the batter in these 2 lined cake tins. Now you can also bake the same amount of batter in a 8-inch cake round tin. Now we'll divide the batter in these two 6-inch cake tin, and we will bake this at 170 degrees C for 25 to 30 minutes on a convection mode. If you like the video, then please do subscribe to our channel. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that we are doing an entire cake baking series where I'll teach you each and every type of cake and teach you all the tricks and techniques of the cake. And the first trick is that you bake this cake for 20 minutes uncovered in the oven, and after 20 minutes cover it either with a foil or with a parchment paper, or just use another cake tin that can cover the top of the cake. This will prevent the burning of the cake from the top, and at the same time it will cook the cake from the center. Now most of the time what happens is the cakes are not cooked from the center, or they start burning from the top. This is one of the biggest problem I have heard from all those who are trying their hands on baking. Now to check the cake whether it's baked completely or not, just insert a toothpick. The toothpick should come out clean without any crumbs on the cake. I have used a multigrain flour which had Ragi, Oats, Maize, Wholewheat grains. So it is a little dark in color, but if you use all-purpose flour, the cake will be a little more white in color. In case you want to know what all is the ratio of the ingredients that I have used in this flour mixture, then do leave a comment. I'll definitely do a video on using different type of in the cake flour in the. This makes it a very healthy cake, unlike if you use a Maida or just even whole wheat. Now just see the sponginess of the cake. The cake was really hot this time when I was just trying to take off the tins. I usually don't take the tins off. I invert it on my cake tray and leave it to cool down. Now this keeps the moisture of the cake intact, and if I want to keep it in fridge, I will just wrap it in a parchment paper or a butter paper or even in an aluminium foil. This will not make the cake dry, and never ever store the cake open in the refrigerator or even in the room. Always cover the cake. As you can see here, I have covered the cake, and now in the next video I'll make a delicious vanilla frosting which will be eggless and can be made from the ingredients available at home, or maybe easily procured from your local stores. In case you like the video, again please like and share and subscribe to my channel. In case you make these cakes, do leave a comment. If you find any difficulty while baking, just leave your query in the comment section. I'll definitely reply to you. And thank you again so much for watching this video.